This is my cheap tow truck, and these are all the mods I have planned for it in this video, as well as a mystery mod that was the most expensive and should make the biggest difference in making this truck more comfy to drive, because at the moment, it's not. So let's get started with the first mod, sound deadening. So as I start to pull the interior out, a bit of backstory. I bought this truck a couple years ago for $5,000 or $6,000, can't quite remember. And it left us stranded on the way home from picking it up. The alternator died, so that's been replaced. Needed new tyres, the steering box leaked and needed rebuilding. And then, yeah, I built the tray on the back from a scrap tray I picked up for $300. And yeah, it's been really good to me, so just making it comfier for longer trips. So getting that sound deadening in on the driver's door, and then we'll give it a bit of a test. So I've just done this door on the driver's side, just to hear the difference. So this one has no sound deadening. You hear it just sounds like tapping a sheet of metal or a tin can, and then way more dense. So that's sort of what this is meant to do. And then you can get like a phone cell mat or something that you put over it, which kind of stops sound, but I didn't get that because I'm on a budget. So hopefully this is good. You just kind of slap it in and roll it down. It's pretty satisfying, pretty fun. So do that door and then do the cab. All the sound deadening's done, looking good. I can't put the carpets back in yet because I washed them and they're still drying. So we're gonna move on to mod number 2, a new stereo and new speakers, because the old ones were very crackly. So it should be a nice improvement. So I did have to drill some holes into the plate that the speaker mounts into, and then I could screw the speaker into that, and then I cut the factory wiring from the truck and soldered the wires that came with the speakers to that, and then put all that back in the truck, and then I could screw that plate back into the truck, and it's done. And then just did the same on the other side. So I've tested them, that's all good, except it was not copyright free music because we have no Bluetooth, so there'll be no footage of that. But now we can put in the new head unit. So I unclipped this plastic trim bit, pulled the stock head unit out, and I honestly kind of just guessed the wiring, so hopefully I got that right, and got this new one bolted in. So I'm going to turn the key and see what happens. We got nothing. Back to the wiring we go. So the new head unit fits really well in the plastic surround, which is a win. But I don't know how I didn't think of this, but the truck's 24 volt and the radio is obviously meant for a car, which is 12 volts. So I'm assuming that's why it didn't work. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but anyway, I've ordered a little 24 to 12 volt reducer thing, so hopefully that fixes it. Hopefully I haven't cooked anything in there, but yes, we just have to wait for that to arrive and go from there. Fingers crossed it isn't fried. So after the carpets dried out in front of the fire, I started putting the interior back together. Got all those, are they really carpets? If they're not carpet, they're like rubber. Are they? Anyway, I got them in and I got the seats in, and so now the interior is all back together and we can move on to mod number 3, which is new tail lights. But we're not just putting on new tail lights. These ones are buggered because they hang down so low. Obviously got the curve in the tray, and then these stick down past that. So every time I go into a steep servo, they get hit and bend up, and then this one's got like this globe has just snapped off from being hit. So what I'm going to try to do is move the headlights up in front of this bar, which is what the ramps hook onto on there. And I'm gonna try make them sit in front of that so they're higher, and then hinge out when I need to hook the ramps on there, so that I don't get hit on the ground, but they're still out of the way when I need to hook the ramps on and load a car up. So got some hinges, got the new tail lights, and see what we can do. So first I had to get the excess bit of bar off the truck that was sticking out the side, and then get the old tail light and the bracket for it off. And then I welded some tabs onto a bit of angle, and then welded that bar and the hinge onto the truck. And here's where we are now. So I've got, yeah, they're the tabs for the tail light. This is for the number plate light, and then the number plate goes here. It swings out and around. And then I'm just now need to lock that back. So I've been scrummaging in the scrap metal. Got this pin with some holes in it and some R-clips. So I'll drill a hole in the bar there, put that through, and put an R-clip in it, and then I found this big something with some tabs on it and some holes that I can put on there, and then go to there, that'll swing in, through there, boom. That'll be one side done. Alright, I have that tab welded on there. Pin, I just cut that off and welded enough to it, and then the R-clip will go in there. So I'll throw some paint down on this and then bolt everything onto it and wire it up. Right, that side's all done. Pretty happy with how that looks. I'll wire it up. Just gotta get onto the other side, but I'll do that tomorrow. Alright, it's a new day. It stopped raining. I got new boots. I bought a new tripod, which I'm very excited to use. It's just bizarre that it never occurred to me that I should buy a tripod. I've just forever been like sitting my phone on buckets and stuff with leaning against the tape measure. And then I was like, oh, tripods exist for that. So anyway, got that. So let's run a quick time lapse of getting this side done, and then we can move on to the final mystery mod. Got the tail light on this side done. They're all wired up and working. I'm really happy with how they hinge out, and the extra clearance should be very nice. So now we can move on to the final mod, the most expensive. We're lifting the front. So we've got longer front shackles and shocks to suspension lift the front. I'll lift the cab up in a second and show you, because there's basically no or very little room between the bump stops and the leafs. So by lifting it, you get more room and more travel, so that on big bumps it's not just immediately hitting the bump stop, which should improve the comfort by a lot. Now the only reason I'm only doing the front is because I couldn't afford to do the rear as well. I might in the future if I need to, but I think obviously it's sitting over the front wheel, so that will make the biggest difference, and it shouldn't look squatted, I don't think. I hope it doesn't look squatted. So yeah, I got these off Brad Zaka, I think's how you say it, in Queensland. Super nice guy. So hopefully these improve the ride. These are the cheapest shocks he'd give me. So these were 150 a piece, 300 for the shocks, and then 188 for the shackles, the longer shackles, and then plus some shipping. So it was 610 bucks, I think, all up. And yeah, let's get them in. With the cab up, you can see what I was saying here with the bump stops and the travel. There's only about 60 mil there. So I think these lifted about 50 mil-ish. So this should be about, yeah, doubling the travel really. So that'll be good. And look, the truck is currently sitting with the front lower anyway. So if we lift the front, it should sit level, which is great. Because, I mean, I didn't think it would look squatted, but that'd be a worst case scenario right there. so I got the new shock in place of the old one, and then I've got the shackle off from in there. So here you can see the old shackles versus the new shackles, so a fair bit longer to lift it up. And then there's an extra hole in the middle too, which this bolt here goes through, just so that nothing flexes, I guess. So yeah, let's get them slapped on and then see sort of how it's sitting, I guess. Alright, so we got the new shock and shackles in on this side, not on the other side yet, and there's definitely noticeable difference. Might be a little hard to tell on camera, but shock's definitely on a lean. It's definitely lifted it, obviously. Anyway, go ahead and get the other side in and then take it for a little run, I guess, see how smooth it is. I just got the new shock in on this side as well, and I realised in taking the old one out that these are stuff, like both of them, you just, like, they don't bounce back, they don't repel unless you pull on them. And then you can just push on them one hand, not really any effort, all the way down, and then they just sit in there, so they're cooked. Anyway, so yeah, just having new shocks in itself should make the ride way better, let alone the extra clearance as well. So we'll go ahead and get this side shackle in and then all done. Alright, we've got all the shackles and shocks in both sides. And you go for just a quick little spin. It is dark, but let's see if there's any major noticeable differences. Okay, I've driven down the road about 1 kilometre and I'm in a little parking lot with some speed bumps, so let's hit these and see how we go. This is faster than I would normally. Oh jeez. You definitely still feel it, but it's kind of hard to describe. It's like, obviously because you're sitting over the wheels, you're still moving up and down, but it's not like it's bone shattering. Yeah. Whereas with the back, you can feel it really drops. But yeah, so you still move around, but it's not like it's like crunching your spine together. It's definitely a lot more pleasant. Alright, I did go for a spin and there was definitely some improvements, but I'll talk about those later. This is a little module that supposedly converts 24 volts to 12 volts. So I'm gonna get this wired into the radio and hopefully it works and isn't fried. Yeah, because I've only obviously got one, there won't be like a accessories and a always on, so it'll probably just, the radio will only be on with the key, which means I won't have set stations, but we'll worry about that later. We'll just get this in and see if it works for now. Alright, here we go, moment of truth, take 2. I'm so confident that I've put the trim back on as well. Here we go. Yeah, baby. Sweet. That's cool, I like that. Alright, I'll get that all set up and then we'll do a little sound test. Alright, here's our copyright-free music sound test. Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
About to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake. I'm tired of feeling on FOMO, babe. I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice. Crank the AC to 79 and make a little island right here. And there ain't a potion inside, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. We need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth up Patron and a blender. Baby, stripping on a swimsuit is overrated.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So it's definitely the best audio system in any vehicle I have now. So for what it cost, it was 150, just over, somewhere between 150 and 200 bucks. I'm very happy with it. So yeah, guess we gotta go for a spin and test everything together now it's done. We're all ready to go for a little test with some weight on the back. It seems to be chicken approved, so that's good. And yeah, just gonna, I don't know, drive it down the street. I don't actually have to take Subaru anywhere, but I just really wanted to see what it's like with weight on the back, because it's always rough as guts with no weight. So yeah, let's go for a little rip and do a final review of the mods.
Too short, let's not waste it, 'cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it.
Alright, my final thoughts on the truck. I paid a total of $1,060 for all the mods, and I'll run through each of them and rate them out of 5. So I'll start with the sound deadening. Definitely makes a difference. It's obviously no limousine, but you can tell that, you know, it's a little quieter in there. So I'd say, just based on the fact that it wasn't really that expensive, probably 3.5 stars for that. Next, the stereo and the new speakers. I'd say probably makes the biggest difference, being able to play music and it not being crackly and it actually being good and loud. So probably 4.7 stars for that. It's pretty good. Happy with that. The tail lights, you know, just when I'm going into servos, not having to worry about ripping them off just on general uneven ground and stuff will be really nice. So, and they don't really get in the way of trying to load and unload the car. It's not really that much of an extra hassle. So I'd say 4 stars for that. And then the suspension. Now, when there was no weight on the back, it made a difference on the big bumps. Like, it wasn't bone shattering, but it still wasn't a comfortable ride. But when you load it up, you can tell, like, it's a big difference. It's really, you don't feel many of the bumps at all unless they're, like, you know, decent big size. So yeah, like, I mean, if you were driving around with not much weight on most of the time, it definitely wouldn't be worth it, but you probably wouldn't have a truck if you were doing that. So yeah, with weight, 100% worth it. So definitely, obviously it's expensive, but yeah, that's got to be 4.5 or 5 stars. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. That'll be it for this one, and hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.